Elon Musk joins us today for an in-depth discussion on the pressing issues that have been making headlines across the world. From major cyber attacks to targeted disruptions against Tesla and X, Musk shares his insights into what's happening behind the scenes, the motives driving these attacks, and the solutions he envisions to counteract them. He also delves into the inefficiencies plaguing government operations, shedding light on fraudulent activities that waste billions in taxpayer money. Recently, X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, faced an unprecedented cyber attack that temporarily disrupted its operations. While the investigation is ongoing, initial reports indicate that the attack originated from servers located in Ukraine. The attack appeared to be a coordinated effort aimed at destabilizing the platform, raising concerns about the rising influence of cyber warfare on social media and global communication. Musk, however, remains steadfast, ensuring that the platform is back online and functioning optimally. He points out that these cyber threats are part of a larger scheme designed to undermine independent platforms that challenge traditional media narratives. But the challenges aren't limited to the digital space. On the ground, Tesla has been facing a series of troubling incidents. Charging stations near Boston have been deliberately set on fire. A Tesla dealership in Oregon was targeted with gunfire, and large-scale protests erupted outside a Tesla showroom in downtown New York. These acts of aggression are not just random incidents. They are signs of deeper tensions brewing against Musk's innovations. When asked about these attacks, Musk responds with his characteristic optimism, urging people to always look on the bright side of life. His confidence in Tesla's mission remains unshaken, despite the controversies surrounding it. The hostility towards Tesla is a result of its disruptive influence on traditional industries. As electric vehicles continue to gain traction, they pose an existential threat to legacy automakers and the oil industry. This resistance manifests in various forms, including legal challenges, negative media coverage, and now, direct attacks on Tesla's infrastructure. Despite this, Musk remains committed to pushing forward with sustainable energy solutions, emphasizing that the long-term benefits outweigh the short-term backlash. Beyond the realm of technology, Musk has taken a keen interest in government efficiency, particularly in exposing and reducing wasteful spending. Over the years, numerous reports have highlighted significant financial discrepancies within government agencies, yet little has been done to address these issues. Musk explains that fraud within the government is a massive, often overlooked problem that costs taxpayers billions of dollars each year. According to reports from the Government Accountability Office, fraudulent government spending has amounted to an estimated $500 billion. Musk believes that by implementing stricter oversight and technological advancements, much of this waste can be eliminated. One of the most astonishing revelations in Musk's analysis is the presence of 20 million deceased individuals still listed as alive in government databases. This discrepancy has led to countless cases of fraudulent Social Security payments being issued to non-existent individuals. Additionally, over $100 million in loans have been granted to children under the age of 11, an absurd scenario that raises serious questions about the integrity of financial oversight in government operations. These examples illustrate a glaring issue. The current system lacks the necessary safeguards to prevent abuse and corruption. Musk's involvement in addressing these inefficiencies has not gone unnoticed. His team has been working closely with government officials to identify and rectify these issues, pushing for policies that promote financial responsibility and transparency. Despite facing opposition from entrenched bureaucratic systems, Musk remains determined to drive meaningful change. He believes that through technological innovation, many of these systemic problems can be addressed, saving taxpayers billions in unnecessary expenditures. The conversation then shifts to a broader discussion on governance and the role of bureaucracy in shaping policy. Musk highlights the challenge of dealing with an entrenched administrative state that operates independently of elected officials. He argues that this bureaucratic inertia often undermines the democratic process, making it difficult for meaningful reforms to take place. According to Musk, many government agencies continue to function inefficiently because they lack the incentive to improve. Unlike private enterprises that must remain competitive to survive, government institutions face little accountability for their shortcomings. He further elaborates on the ways in which government-funded non-governmental organizations, NGOs, serve as loopholes for financial mismanagement. Billions of dollars are funneled into these organizations with little to no oversight, allowing them to operate with minimal accountability. Musk describes this as one of the biggest sources of fraud in the world, as these organizations often serve as conduits for misallocated funds. His team has been actively investigating these practices, seeking to implement measures that will bring greater transparency and efficiency to government spending. When discussing the impact of these efforts, Musk acknowledges that significant progress has been made. His initiatives have already led to billions in savings, and with continued efforts, he aims to reach $1 trillion in reduced government waste. However, he understands that this is an uphill battle, as many vested interests are resistant to change. Despite this resistance, he remains committed to his goal of making the government more efficient and accountable to the people. Musk's approach to problem-solving is rooted in a combination of technological expertise and a deep understanding of economic principles. He emphasizes that simply identifying inefficiencies is not enough. Action must be taken to address them. By leveraging data analysis and AI-driven solutions, he believes that the government can significantly improve its operations, reducing waste and enhancing overall efficiency. Throughout the discussion, Musk's unwavering determination to challenge the status quo is evident. Whether it's revolutionizing the transportation industry, combating cyber threats, or holding government institutions accountable, he remains at the forefront of innovation and reform. His vision extends beyond personal success. He is driven by a genuine desire to create a better future for society as a whole. As the conversation progresses, Musk reflects on the broader implications of his work. He recognizes that change is often met with resistance, but he remains confident that perseverance and technological advancements will ultimately lead to a more efficient and transparent system. His message is clear. Progress requires bold action, and he is willing to take the necessary steps to drive meaningful change. The discussion concludes with a look towards the future. Musk outlines his vision for continued improvements in governance, technological innovation, and societal advancement. He remains optimistic about the potential for transformative change, emphasizing that with the right strategies and a commitment to efficiency, significant progress can be achieved. His determination to challenge inefficiencies and push for transparency serves as a powerful reminder that true innovation extends beyond technology. It encompasses a broader commitment to improving the world for future generations. Musk's commitment to efficiency and financial accountability is not limited to just policy discussions. He actively engages with government agencies and top officials to implement real-world changes. He has spent significant time reviewing executive orders, financial transactions, and government spending patterns, uncovering deeply embedded issues that have long been ignored. By leveraging his expertise in automation, Musk believes that introducing AI-driven financial tracking systems could eliminate vast amounts of unnecessary expenditures. His team has proposed solutions that would bring unprecedented transparency to how taxpayer money is allocated, ensuring that public funds are used effectively and efficiently. Despite pushback from those resistant to reform, Musk remains undeterred, emphasizing that these changes are necessary to restore trust in governmental operations and drive meaningful economic growth. Elon Musk continues his deep dive into the inefficiencies within government spending and the broader issues of bureaucratic waste that have long been overlooked. His investigation into financial mismanagement has uncovered alarming patterns of fraud, and he's determined to expose them for the benefit of taxpayers. He stresses the importance of accountability, questioning why significant amounts of money are funneled into programs that yield no tangible benefits, while critical areas remain underfunded. In his ongoing efforts, Musk has pushed for the use of cutting-edge technology, such as artificial intelligence and data analytics, to track government expenditures with precision. The level of inefficiency is staggering. There are countless programs receiving billions in funding, yet their purpose remains vague at best. Musk explains that by simply applying basic auditing principles, a staggering amount of money can be saved. The goal isn't just about cutting costs, but about ensuring that public funds are used responsibly. His findings have raised eyebrows at various levels of government. Over the past year, Musk and his team have identified billions of dollars in funds allocated to outdated projects, fraudulent beneficiaries, and redundant agencies that serve no real function. He gives a shocking example. There are cases where money is being distributed to people who don't even exist. We found instances where federal loans were issued under names of children as young as 8 years old. How does an 8-year-old even apply for a loan? The system has zero accountability. The extent of waste and fraud is something Musk finds deeply troubling. He states that unless drastic steps are taken, this will lead to further economic strain on future generations. Musk notes that this isn't a partisan issue. It's about fundamental efficiency. The fact that millions of deceased individuals are still receiving government benefits demonstrates how broken the system is. 20 million people who are dead are still receiving government checks. That means for years, someone has been collecting those payments. The question is, where is this money actually going? And why has no one done anything about it? Musk's team has been working on implementing AI-based systems that can identify fraudulent activity in real time. The technology exists. Banks, tech companies, and even private enterprises use such systems every day to prevent financial fraud. So why has the government failed to do the same? Musk believes it's because there's no incentive for bureaucrats to fix the problem. If there was a financial incentive for them to clean up the mess, it would have been done years ago. The problem is that government agencies aren't motivated by efficiency. They're motivated by maintaining their own existence. This systemic failure is not limited to just fraudulent payments. Musk reveals that there is a disturbing trend in government-funded NGOs, where billions of dollars are allocated to organizations that are essentially black holes for public money. Many of these groups claim to provide essential services, yet there is little to no oversight on how the funds are spent. Some NGOs receive funding for projects that have never even been implemented. There's a program that supposedly built infrastructure in developing countries, but when we checked, there was no infrastructure. The money just disappeared. The shocking reality is that fraud isn't the exception. It's the rule in many areas of government spending. Musk insists that there's no transparency, and when his team attempts to investigate, they are met with resistance. There are agencies that refuse to provide data on their spending. Think about that. Taxpayer money is funding these projects, yet there is zero accountability on where it actually goes. Despite this resistance, Musk's mission remains clear. He has already helped uncover wasteful spending exceeding $4 billion, and he believes that with more aggressive auditing, that number could reach $1 trillion in savings. The pushback from political figures and government bureaucrats is expected, but Musk remains unfazed. The argument that's always used is that these cuts will harm programs that help people. But what they don't tell you is that the money isn't even reaching the people in need. Most of it disappears in bureaucratic inefficiency and corruption. Musk is determined to change this system. He proposes solutions that empower taxpayers to track government spending in real time, much like private companies do with financial reports. His vision is a world where every dollar spent by the government can be accounted for, eliminating fraud before it even happens. This isn't an impossible task. Companies do it every day. You don't see Tesla or SpaceX losing billions in fraud, because we track everything. If the government adopted even 10% of the efficiency that private industry has, it would transform the economy. His frustration with the lack of efficiency in government operations stems from his own experience in leading multiple companies simultaneously. Musk is known for pushing the limits of what's possible, whether it's space exploration, AI, or electric vehicles. He applies the same philosophy to tackling bureaucratic inefficiencies, believing that with the right technology and leadership, these issues can be resolved. One of Musk's most radical ideas is the introduction of blockchain technology to track public spending. By using a decentralized ledger, every transaction made with taxpayer money would be recorded and made publicly accessible. This would eliminate the ability to hide transactions. Every dollar spent would be visible and auditable in real time. Imagine if you could log in and see exactly where your tax dollars went. That's the future we need. Musk has been in conversations with multiple government agencies about implementing AI-driven fraud detection systems, but he admits that change will be slow. The entrenched interests in government make reform difficult, but not impossible. We have to push forward no matter how much resistance we face. This is about fixing a broken system that has been draining the economy for decades. His approach isn't just about cutting costs, it's about rebuilding trust in government institutions. The loss of faith in public systems is one of the biggest issues facing modern democracies. Musk believes that radical transparency is the only solution. The moment you take away the ability to hide financial data, the corruption stops. That's why they fight so hard to prevent transparency. Musk's work is already yielding results. His efforts to uncover fraud have led to multiple investigations, and his push for efficiency has prompted certain government departments to review their spending practices. However, there is still a long way to go. We're just scratching the surface. This problem is so much bigger than people realize. But the good news is, we have the tools to fix it. His biggest challenge moving forward is getting public support. He believes that when people understand the extent of the problem, they will demand change. This is about taxpayers. It's their money being wasted. Once people see how bad it is, they won't stand for it anymore. Musk's battle against government inefficiency is just beginning. His long-term vision is to fundamentally restructure the way public funds are managed, ensuring that future generations are not burdened by debt and corruption. If we don't fix this now, the next generation will be left cleaning up the mess. That's unacceptable. His call to action is simple. Demand transparency, demand accountability, and push for real reform. The technology exists to make these changes today. It's just a matter of whether the system is willing to embrace it. As Musk continues this fight, he remains hopeful. He believes that change is inevitable, and that the movement for financial responsibility in government is only going to grow. The public is waking up. People are tired of being lied to, and once the truth comes out, there's no going back. This is just the beginning of his mission to reform public spending. The next phase of his efforts will involve direct collaboration with financial experts and AI developers, pushing for new systems that will redefine how government operations are managed. And with that, the question remains, how far can Musk take this fight? Elon Musk's crusade against government inefficiency and fraud has gained momentum, but he knows that real change will not come easily. Resistance from entrenched bureaucracies, political opposition, and those benefiting from the current system remain strong. However, Musk is determined to press forward, bringing real accountability to public spending and proving that transparency is not only possible, but necessary. He explains that most people don't realize how deep the problem goes. The inefficiencies, the waste, and the fraud aren't just small leaks in the system. They're gaping holes that drain resources from critical areas, such as infrastructure, education, and healthcare. There's a misconception that government spending is managed carefully, but that's simply not true. We're talking about trillions of dollars being mismanaged. The only reason this continues is because nobody is looking closely enough. Musk believes that a fundamental shift in public awareness is required. He argues that once people understand how their money is being spent, or wasted, they will demand change. However, those who benefit from inefficiency are actively working against transparency. There's a reason why people in power don't want these numbers made public. If taxpayers saw exactly where their money was going, they would be outraged. Musk is now taking the fight to the next level. He is pushing for a new era of digital governance, where financial transactions, government contracts, and public spending are fully accessible in real time. He envisions a public dashboard where any citizen can log in and see where every tax dollar is going. Imagine being able to see government spending in real time, where every dollar goes, who gets paid, and whether the money is being used effectively. That's the level of transparency we need. His idea, while revolutionary, is met with skepticism from government officials who claim it's too complex to implement. But Musk isn't buying it. They say it's too complicated, but the private sector does it all the time. If companies like Tesla, Apple, and Google can track billions of transactions with AI and automation, why can't the government? The real issue, Musk believes, is not complexity, but accountability. Those in charge don't want their spending tracked because it would expose inefficiencies, waste, and fraud. The resistance isn't about technology, it's about power. The moment you make spending fully transparent, you take power away from those who misuse it. Despite the challenges, Musk remains committed to building the tools that will drive this transformation. His team is working on blockchain-based solutions that would create a permanent, tamper-proof ledger for government transactions. This would make it impossible to hide, alter, or manipulate financial records. This is how we fix the system. You put every transaction on a secure, decentralized ledger, and suddenly, corruption becomes a lot harder to pull off. Musk's bigger vision extends beyond just government spending. He believes that technology can reshape governance itself, making it more efficient, transparent, and aligned with the needs of the people. The way government operates today is outdated. It's slow, inefficient, and filled with unnecessary bureaucracy. We need a system designed for the 21st century. He envisions a future where AI plays a significant role in governance, helping make decisions based on data and efficiency, rather than political interests. There are so many government functions that could be automated and streamlined with AI. The technology exists. It's just a matter of actually using it. One of the biggest problems Musk identifies is how government agencies operate in silos, making it nearly impossible to track spending across departments. It's crazy how disconnected everything is. One department has no idea what the other is doing, and that's why there's so much duplication and waste. By centralizing and automating government data, Musk argues that the government could run at a fraction of its current cost while still delivering better services to the people. The way things work right now is a mess. We have the technology to do better, and we need to use it. Musk also emphasizes the importance of private sector innovation in solving government inefficiencies. He believes that opening up government services to competition could dramatically improve efficiency and cut costs. There's no reason why the private sector can't help solve these problems. If Tesla can build rockets and land them on target, surely we can figure out a way to improve basic government functions. His ultimate goal is to create a model that future governments can follow, a blueprint for efficient, transparent, and accountable governance. This isn't just about the US. Every country faces these same problems. If we can prove that technology and transparency work, then we can create a new standard for governance worldwide. Musk is not alone in this fight. He has already gathered support from financial analysts, AI experts, and transparency advocates who believe that a new era of government efficiency is within reach. We have to stop accepting inefficiency as just the way things are. It doesn't have to be this way. His biggest challenge now is getting people to care. He believes that public pressure is the key to making change happen. If enough people demand transparency, the government will have no choice but to adapt. That's why public awareness is so important. Musk is actively working on tools that will empower citizens to hold their governments accountable. He plans to launch a platform that allows taxpayers to track government spending in real time, giving them a level of insight that has never existed before. This isn't just about uncovering fraud, it's about restoring trust in government. People need to know that their money is being spent wisely. As he moves forward with his mission, Musk acknowledges that he's up against powerful interests, but he remains confident that change is inevitable. They can resist, they can fight it, but in the end, transparency will win. People want to know the truth, and technology is making it harder to hide. He leaves us with a final message. The future of government isn't about more bureaucracy. It's about less waste, more transparency, and smarter decisions. We have the tools to make this happen. It's time to use them. And with that, Elon Musk's vision for a transparent, technology-driven government comes to a powerful conclusion. Like, subscribe, and comment below. What do you think? Can technology fix government inefficiency? Let's talk.